Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports. It's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports. Time to change your approach with Aaron Haldeman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.
What is up, everybody? Welcome to the Dudes Who Bet Sports Show. Fancy seeing you here, Papa Dude. Feel like we just saw each other 35 minutes ago.
Yep. On Thursdays, it's back to back, isn't it?
It is, yeah.
Did you have time to get a snack to eat?
Yes. I had a bagel here at the house, so made it real quick, and then away we went because it took like 15 minutes to update Churchill Downs, all the scratches. So
I know. Yeah. Well, luckily, I don't know about you, but I'm a light eater at lunch. I don't eat much at lunch usually. Yep. So I had my peanut butter and crackers. I'm ready to roll.
Yep. Well, show number 2 out of 4 today, getting ready to kick off. We got a lot to get to. We're going to talk about college football. We'll talk about the NFL. I wanted to start with our Oklahoma Derby trip. I know you wanted to talk about it, and I thought this would be a good time to kick off the show with it. We had a fun time last Sunday, Oklahoma Derby. The race was spectacular, but just a good day overall. Met a lot of people. You met a lot of people for the first time. I was meeting some of them for the first time, some of them for the second time. So it was a really, really good afternoon and evening of racing.
Yeah, they do a great job at Remington Park. They really do. It's fan friendly. It's, if you want to see the horses up close, you can. It's really a good track to go to. Very underrated track, I think. Mm-hmm. And we got to meet, or I did. You had met Shotty before. And Davey Cleveland, who's on our show some. You had never met him, correct?
Nope.
Met his dad and his brother, and then his wife was very nice, of course. Really enjoyed talking to her. And then Pedlo, we finally met Pedlo, and we didn't know Pedlo was so well, what's the word? Connected.
We didn't know he was the governor of Oklahoma.
We did not. And that's the thing. You would think he would promote that a little bit more than what he does, but he was kind of a late arrival. We didn't know what the heck was wrong with him. Shotty was texting him, and he kept putting us off. And then lo and behold, he comes down and he goes, "Hey, do you guys want to go meet Toby Keith?"
Yeah, sure, why not?
So all of us said, "Do we want to go meet Toby Keith?" Duh.
Yeah. So what happened was, we met up with Shotty and Davey pretty quick.
Yeah.
I had met or hung out with Shotty before. Never met Davey. Really good guy. His whole family, good people for sure. And Pedlo, I feel like he's been on our shows here at Racing News longer than even Shotty or Davey.
Yeah.
But, and he's a huge OU guy, and we always talk to him about that. But I never met him, and I met him, and he's a really nice guy. And anyway, he was higher connected than I knew about. So that was a pleasant surprise to get to meet Toby Keith. And I'm jealous of you because you got to talk to Ryan Humphreys. And if you're an OU basketball fan, Ryan Humphreys played center at Oklahoma for a few years, then transferred to Notre Dame. I didn't get to talk to him because all Toby wanted to do was talk to me about his horse that just got third in the race before. I'm trying to ease my way over to Ryan Humphreys without leaving Toby Keith. I was like, that's not going to happen. I'm just going to be here talking with him. But that was kind of cool too.
He walked by me, and I knew he was somebody.
Yeah.
He's huge and just an immaculate looking guy, and he knew he was somebody.
Yeah.
And Pedlo stopped him, and he goes, "Do you know who this is?" And I said, "No, but if I hear a name, I probably know who he is."
Yeah.
And he goes, "You remember Ryan Humphrey?" I said, "Well, yes, I remember Ryan Humphrey." And he comes over to me and he goes, "Are you an OU fan?" I said, "Huge. I'm a huge OU fan." So he shakes my hand, and I said, "Let me tell you something." I said, "Not only am I – no. Then I told him, I said, "Yeah, I know who you are. You defected on us and went to Notre Dame." And he goes, whoa, like that, trying to defend himself. And I said, "I don't care." And anyway, then I told him, but he got a kick out of this. I said, "You're going to like this." I said, "Most OU fans only care about football. Not me. I follow all of it, and he got a big kick out of that. But it was really a thrill to meet him. And I asked Toby, I don't care about his horses or all that other shit. I don't care that he's a country music guy either.
Yeah.
I'm worried about his health more than anything else. And he assured me he feels good.
He looks a lot better than I think he did. I think he's starting to come around. Yeah.
I do too. So I'm really
that was very scary though, for sure.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I'm really pulling for him. Because if you've seen him before, he doesn't look healthy because he doesn't look because of the cancer.
He doesn't look like he used to look because he used to be, and I mean, I'm not talking like he was never like a fat guy, but he's built like he's stout. Like you would watch him, come across the field at the OU games at the half. You're like that, that's a big guy,
He looks like a tight end.
Yeah, for sure. And now he kind of looks like us. You know what I mean? It's like a regular looking guy.
Yeah, he does. But he spent time with all of us.
Oh, what a guy!
We were all starstruck, and Shotty especially, and he took pictures with everybody. And Davy's little brother, about 11, I think he said. I think that was how old. Yeah. And so afterwards, I said, "Do you know who Toby Keith is?" And he looked at me like I was crazy. And he goes, "Of course I know who Toby Keith is." I said, "What'd you think about that?" He goes, "Oh, that was awesome." He thought
just to shout out Pedlo a little more. Yeah, Davy's little brother. Was he 10 or 11? I can't remember. Kind of smaller kid, and I was talking to Davy's dad afterwards. He's like, well, that like made his life. Like, he got to meet Toby Keith, and then like the guy who plays the what do you call the call to the post guy gave him like a horseshoe, and he thought that was really cool too.
So he had a great time. And Pedlo did not have to do that for us. And thank you so much. It was, it was really cool. I've been around Toby a little bit. You have too, but not talked to him. We've been close to him and all that kind of stuff, but we never really had a conversation with him. It was awesome.
Yeah, it was an amazing time, and you Pedlo's for real. Yeah, you really made our day. That was so awesome. Yeah, thank you very much for that. And just thanks. Honestly, more than anything, it was just really good to finally meet you after talking to you for years. So it was good. Yeah, with Toby, the thing about it is, he is a very, very down to earth, normal individual. We've been out at the same bar that he's been in a few times down in Hot Springs when he's been to the races in the past. I'm not talking recently, 4 or 5 years ago. And, he has his own table in the corner, and they make sure that nobody's bothering him. Like he's got some guys kind of watching out, telling you, don't go over there. But he's just a normal guy. And like, I'll never forget at Razorback Pizza in Hot Springs one night, he was at the bar just hanging out, and about midnight, 1 o'clock, there he went up to the stage. He played like 5 or 6 songs in front of like 10 people, 15 people. Yeah. And it's just like, wow, this guy's really cool. So anyway, it was really cool to actually meet him and talk to him a little bit as well. A few other things. Davey hits the Superfecta, 10-cent Superfecta in the Oklahoma Derby. $36 ticket, $900. How about that?
He was pretty excited too. He really was. And didn't know Davey was a coach.
Didn't know that either.
Yeah.
And by the way, Davey told Toby where he was coaching and everything is, "Oh yeah, do you know this guy?" And he's like, "Yeah, I think that was the head track coach or somebody." And they talked about that forever. Yeah. So that was cool too.
Yeah, and Davey was a D2 track athlete. Yep. Didn't know that. His wife coaches. She's a volunteer coach. Lacrosse is a club team at OU. It's not sponsored by the university. She does that. So, found out an awful lot of stuff.
Yeah. It was for me personally after. And don't get me wrong, like I love the people we hung out with all meet at Saratoga. It was great. I love Jason and Jalen and Jesse and those. I mean, guys that I can't even name them all. We had so much fun with you guys, but the racing didn't do us any favors up at Saratoga. You never left the race with that good feeling. And I got in the car and I said, that's after the Oklahoma Derby. I said, that's what this is. That's what that should be. That's what racing should be. When you go to the track, you have fun, you meet new people, but you have your friends and you just have a great time, and the racing's fun. You might win, you might lose, but there's nothing bad that happens. It's just fun. And that's what it was, so it was a great time. And I needed that day at the track more than I knew.
I know. It's the first time I ever went to the track totally unprepared, because I wasn't. Because we've been moving. We've been through hell. It's been an ordeal. We're finally in our new house, and it's wonderful. We love it. It's unbelievable. And I went down there. I didn't even care about the racing, to be honest. To tell you the truth, I think I bet $3 all day. I just didn't care. Yeah. And I was just wanting to get out and get around some people, to have a good time. Because that was on a Sunday, and even then we weren't sure when we were going to get in to the house. We'd been in a hotel. It's just been a nightmare. But anyway, it's all worth it. So that's the first time I ever went to track. Hadn't looked at a form. I didn't care. I watched the races, enjoyed them, but just the company and everything about it. My wife and Sandy and I both needed that extremely a lot. Yeah. We got away from everything. It was just a great trip. And the Oklahoma Derby race was incredible. I've never seen a finish with 3 of them within a nostril of each other. It was, I don't think I've seen 2, but I don't think I've ever seen 3 in a race that big,
It was a special day, and it ended with a special race. That's for sure. I got caught on the video saying those horses aren't any good, but wow, that's what a race that was.
And of course, I was rooting for Red Route 1 because I like that style of horse. I know he's not great, but he runs the same every time. And I was a little disappointed he didn't win, but the rest of them, I mean, it was, and that horse that won, that's 2 races that we watch, 2 tracks we follow that he has won the big race by, it was a dead heat at 1, right? In Iowa. Mm-hmm. And then he won that one because his nostril was a little bit longer than Red Route 1's.
Incredibly, Steve Asmussen wins the Iowa Derby at 44-1 and the Oklahoma Derby at 46-1 in the same year. How you tell somebody that at the beginning of the year, go, you know what? By the time this year is over, Asmussen's going to win those 2 races at those prices. You'll be like, you are insane. There's no way that's going to happen. And it happened. So
it was cool.
Yeah. All right. Well, finally, I did. We'll talk about Husker Butch for a second. That was pretty cool for me. We watched Husker Butch, Pedlo, Shoddy. You guys were there, and to watch him win at Prairie Meadows, that was great. Right after the race, did try to sell him to Caldwell. He just kind of laughed. So I don't think that's going to happen.
He said he wasn't interested.
Well, he politely said, "Oh, he didn't answer." He goes, "Oh, who do you own?" And I said, "Husker Butch." He said, "Oh yeah, I know who he is," but he never answered it.
No,
which was a no. But I said on Dudes Who Bet Daily, I was going to announce where he's going to run next.
Yeah.
He is going to Keeneland. Keeneland will be next for Husker Butch. Believe it or not, he's taking us to Keeneland. We're not sure. It could be October 18th. It could be October 25th. It could be something different from that. In racing, you never really know until they draw. But that's kind of the idea. That kind of week around in there, probably where he's going to run. So Husker Butch at Keeneland next. It basically gives me an excuse to go to Keeneland because you don't get to run there very often when you're me. So
no, do they have any idea where they're going to place him? What kind of race is he going to be in?
Probably pretty similar to what he's been doing at Prairie Meadows, probably that $20,000 to $30,000 claiming level. We might try the turf. That's an option with him as well. Kind of get him on that surface and see what he does. But the way I look at it, he ran 6 races up in Iowa. He hit the board every time. He won 2 of them. So 2 for 6 winning, 6 for 6 on the board. He's ran out almost $50,000 now. To me, it's like, why not? I mean, if he ran 6 times and went 0 for 6 and didn't hit the board, don't waste your time, but put him in there. Gives us the reason to go. Who knows? He might be. He's probably not good enough, but what difference does it make, right?
He's a gutty horse, and he seems to be getting better.
That's the thing that they're really happy with, how much better he's gotten from day one to now. He's putting on weight. Jake, one of the other owners, texted me, said his coat looks immaculate compared to what it was to start the year. He's thriving. He's earned it.
Yeah.
Take him there. We'll probably run 5th. Doesn't matter. We're going to have a good time. So Keeneland is next. And hey, listen, if he runs better than that, great. It's all gravy from here. He has been an angel for us all year. So
every time he runs well.
Yeah.
And this time he went and got that horse.
I was very pleased, and he changed his leads. I just was extremely, extremely happy with him. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, the trainer's finally doing his job, right?
Exactly right. Well, I told Kelly, I said, what do you think of his chances? He said, before that last race, he said, well, I'm worried he might get second. He might have gotten used to running second, basically. I said, well, I mean, a good trainer would teach him not to do that. And he said, we're in big trouble then. So,
yeah.
Yeah, listen, I think we'll go to Keeneland, and then I don't know if we still have him, if Churchill, or we just go to Oakland because they start, the first weekend in December now. So there's all kinds of spots for him now.
He could use a little time off, probably. Although he's running great right at the moment. You don't want to do it till he throws a clunker in there.
Well, that could be coming up. So.
Yeah, maybe. Who knows?
But we'll see. He's going to be fun. He's been a really fun horse. We've had a ball with him. And like I said, he's just been a gift. I mean,
how is his temperament?
Oh, my God. You could jump up on him.
Oh, he's gentle? Okay.
He's never even pinned his ears back at me.
Okay.
Well, so obviously, I don't see him every day, but every time I've been around him, you can do whatever you want. He's a good horse for sure.
Well, let's hope now that he's won 2, he doesn't get smart alecky, right?
Well, if he wins, I don't really care. I don't have any thoughts of he doesn't have to be that nice. But no, he's been a really, really nice horse, for us, demeanor, and just, I mean, he's just made bluntly put, he's made a lot of money for the syndicate, or not the syndicate, for the partnership. So
yeah, that's good.
We've been blessed to have him. All right, now let's get to our jobs. Let's get to the game here, or get to the games here. That was fun. I needed that for sure. But let's get to let's get to college football. Let's round it up now. We'll do the top 25 here. Let's go through the games. All right. Friday, September 29th, we'll kick it off. So we got a Friday game here, and it's a biggie. Yeah. I know Rodney was talking about it on the Daily Show about this Utah-Oregon State game. The fact that Utah is still just, we don't know what's going on with the quarterback situation is a problem, as now they go on the road. They take on Oregon State at 3-1. Oregon State's only loss came on the road last week against Washington State. Oregon State 3.5-point favorite, which tells you Utah ain't got their quarterback back for this game. So where are you leaning in this one? Yeah,
that's what it's telling you. I'm surprised Oregon State didn't drop out of the top 25. Aren't you?
Yes.
I really am. That game was 38-35, but it wasn't that close.
Mm-hmm.
They scored late, and Washington State screwed around and messed around in the fourth quarter. They had the ball on 2-yard line, didn't score. That game was, I know it was kind of one-sided because I had it as a best bet. So I followed it. Anyway, you know what? I think it ought to be 3.5 the other way. I do, whether they have a quarterback or not. I'm taking Utah. They're too tough. I think they go in there and shut them down.
I think that's the big key. I think the Utah defense has got to shut down.
They will.
DJ. If they do, I think they'll beat them. I'm going to go Utah as well. I think they're going to get it done. Now, give me plus a 3.5 because I do think this could be a field goal game one way or the other.
Oh, this could be a 17-14. You better believe it.
But I agree. You know what? They've been on the road. Before, they went down to Baylor and they were able to win a close one. I think Oregon State's better than Baylor, but still, they've been tested. They played Florida and they beat them. They played UCLA, they beat them. I mean, I just kind of feel like they'll find a way. So
I'm wondering too.
What's that?
I'm wondering just how bad this injury is to Rising. I think it's a little worse than what they're saying.
Every week, it kind of seems like, he's going to play. He doesn't. Yeah, he's going to play. He doesn't. So
remember, he was going to play game 1.
Exactly. And then until he wasn't. Yeah.
Yeah, I think this is a little more serious than what they're letting on.
Well, and I think the bottom line is with an injury like what he's got, A week. Okay. Like, what's going to change week to week? Not a ton, I don't think.
Yeah, there's something weird going on with this one.
Yeah. All right. Well, I'm still taking Utah.
I'm
plus
too.
3.5. So are you. All right, let's get going. Some of these games aren't good in college. It's not going to take a whole lot of time today to cover.
A lot of big teams don't. A lot of big teams don't play this week either.
Yes, I know. Penn State goes on the road to take on Northwestern. Northwestern got a big win last week. They beat Minnesota, a shocking win. Had to come from behind to do it. Now they get Penn State. It's at Northwestern. I don't think this is going to be much of a game. What about you?
Well, I don't either, but Penn State doesn't beat people that bad most of the time. I think Penn State's really good, though. I think defensively they're nails. So they should shut them down. That was a big win for Northwestern last week. Points are a little sketchy. I would lean towards Penn State covering, but I think you can find something better to bet.
Yeah, I agree. I think with Penn State, 27 points is going to be too much. Dennis just took it or agreed, basically. 27 points, a little too much. Penn State, not a very dynamic offensive team just yet. I know people kind of want to think they're going to be. I kind of watched them and said they're good, not great on offense, but they're going to improve. They're young, and especially quarterback. So I'm with you. I think there's better things to bet here. I think Penn State does get it done. I don't think they get a scare. Speaking of not getting a scare, USC goes on the road this week to play Colorado. USC a 21.5-point favorite. Now, the Trojans, they don't look good on defense at all.
Nope. But
Colorado doesn't look good, period. The last two games have been bad. They were very lucky to beat Colorado State. They were blown off the field against Oregon. Anything going to happen in this game out of the ordinary?
I don't think so. I think offensively they're just too good. 11 a.m. kickoff. This is weird.
How weird is that? So it's 10 a.m. in Colorado. There. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Why would that's just really strange. I don't know how that'll affect anything. Still $169 ticket. That's pretty good.
Yep.
Thought that might have dropped after the shellacking they took last week. I think it's going to be more of the same. Colorado may score a little bit more than against USC than they did Oregon, but I don't think they can stop. I would take USC in the points.
Yep, me too. I think USC is going to win this one fairly easily. I just think they overmatch Colorado. Now, the one thing, Arizona State is a bad team. And that score was 42-28.
It was 27-21 at one point.
Yeah, I mean, I watched that game and I never felt, USC may lose, but it was also like they're not going to blow them out either. So no. I don't know. Yeah, Peddle said, what about the over in this game? 73.5 is a lot. I think USC gets in the 50s. It's just what's Colorado going to score?
Well, if they get in the 50s, okay, let's say they score 56. Colorado only has to score 18.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Watching OU with Riley, like 56-24, it was a common score in these type of games,
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Will they be a little sluggish at 11 o'clock in the morning? I don't know.
Yeah, Peddler just said at 10 a.m. That's scary a little bit. They might be.
That's why I wouldn't touch it.
When it's teams that are used to playing at that time, it's not a big deal. But these are two West Coast, mountain time for Colorado, but West Coast for USC, obviously. So
I can't believe that's an 11 o'clock kickoff.
It's weird. It's really weird for sure. All right, let's keep moving. This one's competitive. Florida goes on the road to take on Kentucky. Kentucky's 4-0. They really haven't been very impressive. Florida 3-1. They had a bad first game. They've kind of rebounded, played a little bit better. I still don't think they're great. This is an interesting game. Another 11 o'clock kickoff between two teams that are used to playing at that time. But go ahead. What do you think about this one?
Well, this may be a battle for who finishes second in this east side of the SEC. I don't know. Florida was not very good last week against Charlotte. But they do have a good win over Tennessee, which is better than what Kentucky has. But Kentucky's been routing some people. The line has changed, as some of the people are saying.
Yeah.
And I think, let's see, what did I get it at? Where are you, Florida? Kentucky was 2.5 on Monday.
Wow.
It's down to 1. And then somebody was saying Florida was favored at one time too.
Mm-hmm.
I've seen many, many times when Florida's went in there and been beat, and Kentucky gives it to them right at the last. Misses a field goal, they do something stupid. But those were pretty good Florida teams, better than this one. But I'm with Rob. I can't take Kentucky. I'm going Florida.
I that's why I kept Rob's comment up. It's for me, it's more of a gut. My gut just tells me Florida's going to win. It'll probably be ugly. It'll probably be just it's like, damn, they really shouldn't have won, but I just think they're going to win. I just think when the chips are down, this game's will be close in the fourth quarter. The uniform of Florida is going to find a way to beat the uniform of Kentucky. And that's simply all it is. I think it's a very even matchup. I think the line's right. I just think Florida gets it done in the end. So we'll see what happens there. All right. Georgia goes on the road to take on Auburn. I think this Auburn team's pretty bad. I think we're going to see this team really start to fade. It was almost unwatchable last week, that Auburn game. Georgia, they're 4-0. They're not playing, Georgia caliber. They're really good, obviously number one, but they haven't been like unbelievable. 14.5-point favorites here on the road at Jordan-Hare. What do you think about this game?
Well, this opened at 14.5 on Monday, and it's still there, which a little surprises me. I like Georgia with more points. I really do.
To me, this has jumped out at me as you just take Georgia. I feel like if they play well, they're going to kind of put it on them in this game.
I do too, but it's real interesting that it hasn't moved. So now this is a rivalry. It is, but it's been pretty one-sided the last few years. I'm with you. I don't think Auburn's got enough offense to hang with them. They might be able to stop them a little bit, but I can see this being like 35-10 when it's all said and done.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's like 35-10, 42-14.
Yeah,
I think 49-24 might be too many points, but it's same kind of spread.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't see Auburn playing them close. Not that team.
I can't see Auburn scoring more than 14 or 17 max.
They don't look good. They don't look good. So I think, and you know what? The other thing with Georgia, there's some grumblings in Georgia of, hey, we're not playing very good. This is, we got to step it up.
Yeah, they're not playing well offensively.
Yeah. So maybe we see them kind of bounce back. All right, let's go. Michigan and Nebraska. Nebraska got 2 straight wins after 2 losses to start the season. Michigan 4-0. They're up to number 2. Michigan a 17-point favorite here on the road in Lincoln. Total sits there at 39. I was shocked by the total.
Absolutely.
Go ahead. What are your thoughts on this one?
Well, I think it might be 39 because Michigan's playing so damn good on defense. They're just shutting people down. I don't think anybody's scored more than 7 on them, have they?
Yeah. No.
But look who they've played.
Nobody.
And that's right. This will be I know Nebraska's not very good, but I'll tell you, Nebraska's well coached. The guy Rule can coach.
Yeah.
This is game 5. They're getting a little better, but they got 2 wins over nobodies. 17 probably is about right. Over under 39. Let's see. Let's say Michigan scores 31. Nebraska would only have to score 10 to beat that. I could see that being 31-10, couldn't you?
Yeah, I would go over, and I'm with Dennis. I would take Michigan.
Yeah.
I just feel like they're way, way better.
Well, they're better.
Yeah.
They're going to shut Nebraska down.
I really feel like Michigan could get to the total themselves. What I would do, because I think it's going to be Michigan's going to do the scoring, I would take Michigan's team total over because – yeah, okay, Nebraska, sure, they're playing good defense, but this is a different monster coming in here than what they've been playing. I mean, I kind of think Michigan just dominates this game. I think the line's weird at 17. I think over under 39 is really weird. So,
yeah,
I don't know. Give me the Wolverines. I don't think this will be a game. As you know, after years of listening, I'm not a believer in Nebraska. So,
no. By the way, though, the game opened at 18.5. at 18. It's down to 17. I think that's interesting.
I think people are like you in saying, hey, and then Rob kind of mentions it like, listen, Matt Rule's a good coach, and he is. I'm not saying he's not, but this is just it is a tough rebuild up there.
He's not got him there yet because he doesn't have a quarterback.
I don't think people around the country who make these lines and bet into these lines really realize how bad it is up there right now, how bad that program is, and how bad it's been. So I think sometimes they do kind of get overvalued a little bit. All right, let's go on. Kansas and Texas. This is an interesting game to me. Kansas is into the top 25 now. They're 4-0. It was a nice win over BYU last week. They have a prolific offense. They go down to Austin to take on the Longhorns, obviously 4-0 as well. Battle of undefeateds, ranked opponents. Texas a 16.5-point favorite in this one. That's a lot of points. What do you think?
Yeah, it is. This is a really good game. We're going to find out a lot about Kansas in this one. Now, they've beat Texas. They've had them at their number somewhat. Their offense is really good. Their quarterback is dynamic, and I'm kind of hoping Texas bangs him up and injures him for the rest of the year because we still have to go to Kansas. So I'm hoping he gets hurt somewhere. So
just for that game, just
for that. Somebody knock him out before we play him because he's going to be a handful. They really look good, but on the other side of the ball, not so good. So that's where the difference in the game is. Texas has played pretty good defense. Texas has dynamic offensive players. If the quarterback plays well, they're hard to stop. Their receivers are really good, and their running back's good. So I like Texas in this one. I don't know, 16.5. I think they struggled for a while, but I think they pull away late and beat them, I don't know, 35-17 or 42-20, something like that.
I think Texas wins, Kansas covers.
Do you?
I think 16.5 is a lot, and I am not 100% sold on Texas just yet. Okay, let me back up. I'm sold on them being a good team for sure. Yeah. I think Texas is good. I'm not sold on them being like the number 3 team in the country. I guess is what I'm saying. So I think it's a lot of points. I think Kansas will battle. And it'll just be, if Kansas can put points on the board. I don't think Kansas is going to stop Texas very often, but like you said, Texas has had trouble with the Jayhawks in the past. It's a big game, honestly.
It's
a
really
big
game.
So,
good game.
Texas wins, Kansas covers. That's my prediction on that one. Missouri and Vanderbilt. The Tigers are 4-0. Missouri, yes, that's right. They're 4-0. They're having a nice little season. They go to Vanderbilt this week. Missouri, a 13.5-point favorite. You would think that shouldn't be much of a problem, but what do you think? Are they going to have trouble in Nashville this weekend?
Well, I think the AP poll needs some new voters. How are they in? They beat Kansas State, whoop-de-doo. When I saw they were in the top 25, and I think they're a decent program. I don't think they're in the top 25. Vanderbilt's not very good.
No.
This is the kind of game Missouri struggles, though. They're coming off of, Memphis. That's a good win. Memphis is a pretty good team, and they beat them, and they beat K-State. The line's not big enough, though, to take Vanderbilt, I don't think. So you got to take Missouri in this. If it was up there around 20, where the number 23 team in the nation should be going to Vanderbilt, you shouldn't be just a 13.5-point favorite. I would take Vanderbilt in a heartbeat, but I just don't think the line's up there far enough.
I agree. It's hard to take Vanderbilt. They have not looked very good at all. I mean, sometimes Vanderbilt will field a team that's not too bad. I don't really think that's the case here. Yeah, give me the Tigers as well, minus at 13.5. Speaking of Tigers, LSU, they go on the road this weekend to take on Ole Miss. We saw LSU's got a lot of problems defensively. Arkansas played well, but LSU was leaving some guys running wide open. But they take on an Ole Miss team that maybe they're just not as good as we thought they were after that loss to Alabama. Can Ole Miss recover here? LSU, 2.5-point favorite. This is a good one. What do you think?
This is a really good game, too. I don't think Mississippi's very good. I don't. They got completely shut down by Alabama. And Alabama's going to have to win games like that in that style.
Mm-hmm.
And they did. Big game, big win for them. LSU's offense is pretty good. I think LSU covers pretty easy.
I think LSU will just kind of find a way to win the game. I could see it being tricky. I could see it being close, but I think LSU, and you said it, I think offensively they're good enough to go and beat Ole Miss in this one. They may have been looking ahead, in that Arkansas game, and it's a huge rivalry, and they saw them lose to BYU, and maybe they weren't quite ready for them. They'll be ready for this one. I think LSU gets it done. I'm with you on that one. Oregon goes on the road to take on Stanford. This should be nothing. 27 points that's a lot of points, but I think they take care of that. What do you think?
Oh, I do too. I think Stanford's terrible.
Yep.
So I'm going Oregon to cover that pretty easy.
Yep. I agree. I think Oregon gets it done. I really like this Oregon team. I don't know if they're going to, win the Pac-12 or not, but I think they're going to be right there with a big shot. I really like that team.
Yep.
All right, let's go to Oklahoma now, 4-0, and also 4-0 against the spread. They were able to cover. The closing line was 13.5. They won by 14 last week. So 4-0. Can they make it 5-0, not only overall record, but against the spread? 20-point favorites as the Cyclones come to town for the last time.
Yep, that's right. Before last week, I would have said, yes, they will cover that. But suddenly Iowa State found a little bit of offense. I've heard the OU people talking about the young quarterback they're playing, and they're very impressed with him. Mm-hmm. 34 on Oklahoma State is good, even though Oklahoma State is way down. Mm-hmm. Iowa State's always got a good defense, and they have given Oklahoma fits. The last 3 times they've come to Norman, they've won away with a victory twice. And in the game you were at, which I didn't go to that one, I think it was a 1-score game.
They scored and they went for 2 to win the game. I think there's like 50 seconds, maybe a minute left, and OU broke up the pass.
I was our Venables, the OU coach, the last 3 years. Iowa State has scored 100 points in Norman. Oklahoma scored 101.
Yeah.
So they're not going to be afraid of Oklahoma coming in there. The Sooners defensively are playing as well as they played in a long, long time, and that's good. Offensively, shaky, just out of sync. You don't know what they want to do. That's why I'm leery of this. I think they're going to win fairly easy. I probably will take them because I can see this one being 34-10. Something like that.
Yeah, I think they only beat us 1 out of those 3 times, not 2.
Venables said twice.
Venables is wrong because I've been at all 3 of the games and we did lose one of them. So,
the last one, it didn't go down to that last play.
The last one did come down to the last play.
I thought it was the one before.
No, so the last one was.
That's the one where Caleb played terrible.
The last one was Caleb Williams' year, and OU won 21-14.
Yeah.
But Iowa State was in the red zone driving, and Brock Purdy, who killed Iowa State every time he played Oklahoma and is now one of the best quarterbacks in the NFL. Believe me, I can't understand it either. But Brock Purdy threw an interception. But they were going down to tie the game. The time before was Kyler Murray, and that was they went for 2, and OU stopped them. And then the time before was where they did beat us, Baker Mayfield year.
That's right.
Iowa State came in and pulled a huge upset, but Oklahoma ended up going to the playoff anyway after that.
I think that's the only game OU lost until they got to
until Georgia. Yep. It was. Yeah. So
and they've never had good records coming in there either.
No. So I mean, for all this, I don't think this Iowa State team is that good. No. I bet you this is the first time we do not cover this week, though.
Yeah.
I think OU wins. I think you walk away going, yeah, they played okay. It wasn't great. I think they're going to win by like 14 points. That's just how. And I think with this OU team, you better get used to what you kind of saw against Cincinnati. I don't think this is an offense that's going to just put up a ton of points on people.
Venables was talking. I didn't know this on his. It was either this radio show or the press conference. I can't remember which one. Mm-hmm. When they were at Clemson, when he was at Clemson, And when he was at Clemson, they had some tremendous defenses.
Yeah.
They went to Iowa State to study what Iowa State was doing.
Really?
And the defensive coordinator is still there at Iowa State that they went to study. That's how impressed they were with what Iowa State does on defense.
Well, they've given us problems over the years for sure. So, and listen, OU can't run the ball very well right now, at least consistently. So that could be a problem. Also, I think with Texas and with Oklahoma, why I'm going to pick them both to win but not cover is what Pedlo is saying. This is shaping up to be the biggest OU Texas game in quite a while.
Yeah.
It's always big. This could be, 5-0 versus 5-0. This could be a huge, huge game.
Yeah.
And quite honestly, not a game. I don't think anybody thought both teams would be 5-0 after, what happened last year.
Everybody thought Alabama would beat Texas.
Right.
Yeah. No, OU's schedule, though, has been pretty light, to be honest.
It's been light, but they had to improve.
Last year's team would not have won at Cincinnati. They would not have won.
No, absolutely not.
Nope.
All right, let's go on. We're going to go Notre Dame Duke now. Dennis is saying he thinks Duke should be the favorite in this game. Maybe so. Notre Dame, a 5.5-point favorite here going into Durham. Okay, Papa Dude, do you agree with Dennis? Are you taking Duke?
Well, here's the thing with Notre Dame. Can they recover from that loss?
Yep.
That's going to be a hell of a coaching job.
Yep.
To get them ready to play against a team that this is the biggest game. Look at the ticket price, $96 to get in. Now, we're talking Duke football.
Duke football, yeah.
Yeah, you probably could have got in for 96 cents at some games 3 or 4 years ago.
And overpaid.
Yeah, exactly. So this is a huge game.
Crazy.
In Durham. And rightfully so. They've played pretty well. I've seen them. They thrashed Clemson. They thrashed them.
Yeah.
And had athletes. They're athletic. That wasn't a fluke. So I don't know how you get back up if you're Notre Dame. By the way, I knew there was something wrong with their defense on that last play, but I didn't realize they only had 10 men on the field.
Yep, I know.
Oh my goodness, that's just you got 94 coaches over there, and nobody sees that.
Isn't that awful?
It is. I've always said you can have too many mouths going at the same time, and you don't need that many coaches, but they think they do.
Yeah.
I'm taking Notre Dame. I can't take Duke to beat Notre Dame. I think Notre Dame bounces back. I'm not sure Duke's as good as everybody says they are.
I think the class is going to be the key to this game. We talk about class and horse racing all the time. I just kind of think when I say class, I mean mostly I'm worried that the size of Notre Dame is really going to be an issue because they just, I think on the lines are going to be able to kind of handle what Duke has on their lines. I like Duke as a football team. I don't think they're going to win the game. Could they cover? Maybe. I think it'll be close. I do think Notre Dame beats them, though. Honestly, yes, they thrashed Clemson. Clemson, they killed themselves a lot in that game.
They did.
It should have been a closer game. So,
how many times do you see games like this where a team like Duke, a program that's not where they're at this moment, very often lays an egg in a game like this?
Now, Dennis, I think, makes a good point here with the coaching issues and how the media has talked about this. Does that play a factor in the belief of the team?
Okay. If they like this guy and they like their coaches, no. It plays no factor at all. That's the whole key.
Mm-hmm.
If they like the guy, and you gotta say to yourself too, some of this is on the players too, isn't it?
Well, yeah, they didn't
out there.
Yeah,
so
you don't know the whole story of what was being.
You just don't. And this kind of shit happens sometimes, and it's horrible that it happened at that point.
Yeah.
No, if they like the coach, that's not an issue. I guarantee you, it's not an issue.
Well, you can talk about a lot of things that happened in that game. I'm going to bottom line it for you. Notre Dame should have won that game 100 times before that last play. I mean, dropping interceptions, terrible play calling. I'm sorry. There were so many instances where Notre Dame had that game won and they couldn't do it. So
yeah.
I'm with you. I'm going to go Duke, Notre Dame. I wouldn't be surprised, but I just kind of think they outclass them.
I just think because Duke's ranked, they're going to be able to get up for it. If they weren't ranked, say they were just outside the top 25 and they were 4-0 and say they were like 30, 31. Mm-hmm. I think they have more trouble, but the fact that they're ranked, I think they bounce back and get them.
Yep. I agree. All right, let's go down to Tennessee now. South Carolina and Tennessee. This could be a pretty good game. Tennessee, a 12-point favorite here. South Carolina at times has looked okay. At times haven't looked good at all. You can say the same for Tennessee.
Yeah.
What do you think?
Might be too big. Might be. Yeah.
Bedlow says right up for Notre Dame.
Pretty good. Oh gosh. I just don't. I can't get a read on Tennessee. I haven't seen them much. I know what South Carolina is. 12 is a lot. I could see Well, I don't know. Tennessee, South Carolina ruined Tennessee's season last year. They may be laying for them. If I had to pick, I'd go Tennessee to cover. But you know what? I think I'm going to stay away from this because I just haven't seen Tennessee.
I have seen them, and I think that's my problem. To me, they don't look very good. I don't think they're great. I've seen South Carolina a lot. I don't like them. So here's what I see happening. Backdoor cover by South Carolina.
Yeah, it's possible.
I could see it. I'm with you. It's too many points. I'm staying away from it. Yeah. I do think Tennessee ends up winning the game. All right, 3 more to go here. Alabama, they rebounded. Big win. They looked good. They beat Ole Miss. Now they got Mississippi State. Mississippi State doesn't look good at all. That looks like not a great situation. Alabama, 14.5-point favorite. I mean, anything to this one, or is this going to be pretty easy?
I just think Mississippi State's terrible.
They don't look good.
No, they've been thrashed the last couple of weeks.
And they've got a legitimate excuse. So you got Mike Leach, and then that happens, and he passes away, and you're just kind of left in flux. And that's what they look like to
me. And people around the country don't realize Mike Leach may be a clown. I mean, not a clown, but just a funny guy, and you think, well, he can't coach. He's just funny. Yeah. You're full of shit if you don't think Mike Leach is not a great coach. Look at the places he's been. Texas Tech. They're irrelevant. Yeah. He made them. They were in the top. What were they? Number 2 one year going into the Oklahoma game, and they got beat. Yep. Went to bowl games every year, had winning records. Washington State. Yep. Had them in a playoff chase there for a while.
Well, he turned the program around. They're still enjoying success. They've done well after him, but
they've hired well after him. Yeah. But go in there and turn that around.
Yeah.
What was he at Mississippi State? 2 years?
Mm-hmm. Maybe in 3, 2 or 3.
Can't remember. And they were highly competitive, and now they dropped off. Alabama in a normal year would be a 30-point favorite going into this game. I think they cover it because I don't think Mississippi State can score enough. I think Alabama will score 24, 28 points, and I think that'll be enough to cover.
Yep. I just think you just take Alabama. If you want to bet this game, take them. I don't know if you really want to single this one as one of the ones you want to bet this weekend, but I do think they cover. I just think this Mississippi State team's been through a lot. You kind of feel a little bad for them.
Oh, yeah.
And now you get Alabama. That's not great. So, all right, keep going. 2 more here. Washington goes on the road to take on Arizona. Arizona kind of sneaky 3-1. They're not great, though. I've seen them a little bit. Washington they are damn good through 4 games. They're 18.5-point favorites. The way they can score, it seems like they should cover this.
Well, isn't Arizona's one loss to Mississippi State?
That is true. Yes.
Enough said. Florida or Washington easy.
Yep, I agree. I'm waiting for Washington to go up against one of those big Pac-12 schools. I think everybody kind of is in a holding period.
They look really good right now.
And then finally, Nevada goes on the road to take on Fresno State. Fresno State, number 25 in the country. I'm glad they're ranked. I think they've earned it. Nevada, not good whatsoever. They did play Kansas close. Will they play Fresno close this weekend?
No. Easy win.
Yeah, easy win for Fresno. All right, that'll do it. College football. You got any other games you want to talk about real quick?
I really like this one. You know which one I'm going to say. If they can get back up, and that's Arkansas. They are 6.5-point dogs to A&M. They always play them close. The key is how much did the LSU game take out of them?
Yeah.
That would be hesitation. How about this one? Clemson, 7-point favorites at Syracuse. Syracuse is undefeated. Syracuse plays them tough, especially up there. Talk about a team coming off a tough loss. I like the orange in that one. Yeah. I think they can. I don't know if they'll win. I think that's going to be a close game.
I don't think so.
You don't?
No.
I do. I think it's going to be close. I don't know whether they think they can beat them, but I think that's going to be a close game. I do.
Okay.
And then let's see. That's about it. There's not a lot that I really have dove into yet. But those two kind of stood out to me. Tonight, I like Jacksonville State and Sam Houston to go under 37 tonight.
We had a request. Dennis wanted to talk about the Friday night game tomorrow night, yes. Louisville and North Carolina State. Louisville, 3.5-point favorite on the road against the Wolfpack. Listen, I think it's a game Louisville should win. I think in the past, this is a game they would lose. What are your thoughts on this one?
I'm the same way. I think they're a little better than North Carolina State, and they're having a really good year. Louisville's playing really well. This is a huge game for them. They need it. They're on the cusp of the top 25 if they can get this. You get to this time of the season, you're 5-0. People are looking at you. So this is a big game for them. They're playing really well. And I like them to go in there and win.
I think they'll win too. I don't think North Carolina State's very good. That's the big thing. Yeah, is NC State overrated? I'm not sure where they're really their thought process of where they're rated, but I'm kind of with that train of thought. I don't think they're great, so I think they get it done. But yeah, I think to Dennis's point, and again, for a program like Louisville, this is a swing game. Right. If you go and win this one, you've got a chance to have a better season than what you are used to having at Louisville. Yep. If you lose, you're kind of right back in that 6, 7, 8 win where they've been stuck at for a lot of their existence. So it's a huge game. I'm with you. I think they win.
I like the under in this game too. North Carolina State doesn't score much, but they play pretty good defense. So 55 seems like a lot of points to me.
We've got Michael talking about the Tulane game. Let me pull that one up.
Okay.
Real quick here. There it is. UAB Tulane 21.5-point favorites in this one.
Well, UAB's not very good this year.
Yeah.
And I think if it was at UAB, I might be more in tune to take them, but not to win, but to beat the spread. Yeah, I don't think UAB is good enough. I think Tulane covers that one.
Yeah, I agree. I
just don't think UAB is not very good this year.
I agree.
Yeah.
All right, let's go NFL now. We'll run through these games here quickly. We've already talked a little bit today on the early show about the Lions and the Packers. Lions 2-point favorites tonight against the Packers. We both went Detroit. So, are we dumb to do this?
Got my fingers crossed. It won't shock me if they lay a big goose egg tonight. Not at all. I think, like you were saying, I think they're better in Green Bay.
Yeah.
They have handled them 3 out of the last 4 times, but this is a big game for them. If they want to lay claim to being the best in the division, you got to win this one tonight. This is really a key game for them.
Yep, I know. We're both going to go with them. We both could be really mad in the morning, but
I just
feel like they're the better team, so you got to go with them. So I mean, you look at a game, you're like, well, I think they're better. Well, you'd be dumb not to pick them, right? So,
and it's on Prime Video, right?
It is on Prime Video. Yeah.
So I will be watching on my computer.
Yes.
Where I don't have to change channels.
There you go. I know we covered how dumb that is.
Yeah.
All right, let's go to Wembley Stadium. How about let's go over to London and let's go Falcons and the Jaguars in this one. Jags are 3-point favorites. Boy, let me tell you, the Jags have been bad. They have been very disappointing through 3 games. The Falcons, they've been pretty good for them, right? So this is a toss-up here. What do you think?
Well, if I was Jacksonville, I'd be really pissed because they play over there next week too.
Well, okay, so here's the story on why Jacksonville.
Okay, I would like to know this.
The owner owns a soccer team over in Europe, and also the owner loves Wembley Stadium. They actually had a wrestling event. The owner's son held a wrestling event in Wembley Stadium. The owner of the Jaguars actually tried to buy Wembley Stadium. He loves it so much. So I think that is why he agreed to go over there and play these games, because of his love for the stadium over there.
Well, he doesn't love his coaching staff and his players or his fans.
Right, and I think that's the thing, right? Like, cool, you love it. Hey, you tell the NFL, I'll go play a game over there. That's fine. I mean, you're going to have to eventually anyway.
Yeah.
I'm okay with it. But I'm with you. I don't think just because I love the stadium doesn't mean I would put my coaches and my players in that kind of position.
No, they got to go live in England for 2 weeks.
Yeah.
You got to play 2 games in England. You lose a home game.
Yep.
You upset the routine.
Yep.
No, that's terrible. He's got no excuse. And for that reason, I'm taking the Falcons.
To be clear, I'm 100% on your side on that. I'm just saying I understand why it's happening. I don't agree with why it's happening, but
I got you.
That's what's happening. Yeah, I'm with you. I kind of take the Falcons here as well. I'll go with the Falcons.
If the game was in Jacksonville, where it ought to be, I'd take Jacksonville.
I kind of think I'd take the Falcons.
Yeah.
I don't think this Jacksonville team's very good. So
I suddenly don't like the Jaguars anymore just because of the owner. No wonder they struggle down there.
Yeah, and this could be a factor. Maybe they're a little bit better adjusted for the better adjusted for the second game. That could be. Yeah.
Yeah, maybe.
I think that's the other part of it. That they're a team that's supposed to be a winning team.
That's right.
And now you kind of it's almost, I don't know. I don't like, I'm with you, Pedal.
So what's it telling your fan base? What's it telling your season ticket holder? You just lost a game.
Again, exactly. I don't like it. I don't like it at all.
I know you don't. I'm just saying it's crazy.
Yep. All right, let's move on. Dolphins and the Bills. This is a hell of a game. I can't wait for this one. Buffalo is a 2.5-point favorite at home against the Dolphins. Boy, the Dolphins scored 70 last week. That's up that total to 53.5 for this week's game. Of course, the Bills have a high total as well each time they play. What do you think? What's going to happen in Buffalo?
I tell you, Miami's had a tough early schedule, haven't they?
And they're winning.
Yeah, they had to go to where was it? Seattle?
Yeah, no, they went to Los Angeles, played the Chargers, and then they went to New England and played the Patriots.
Then they had a laugher last week.
Yep.
Now they got to go to Buffalo. So 3 of their first 4 games were tough on the road games.
Yep.
And they won 2 of them. Listen, they get this one. Suddenly, are they the second best or maybe the best team in the AFC?
Maybe.
Yeah, huge game. Why can't they win it?
I think they're going to.
I do too. I'm taking Miami.
I'll take the Dolphins as well. We'll make it a clean sweep. All right, let's go to the 2 worst teams to ever put on a football uniform in the NFL, and they're going to play each other this week. Broncos got beat 20-70. That's right. The Broncos gave up 70 points. The Broncos have lost home games.
Yes.
The Raiders and the Commanders.
Yes.
However, they go to Chicago, and they're a 3.5-point favorite this weekend. Why? Because the Bears are beyond awful. Who comes out of Chicago with a win?
They haven't given up 70. Do you know how bad you have to be to give up 70 points in the NFL?
I mean,
isn't it the second most in history?
Second most in history. we were at Remington. I knew that Denver was getting beat pretty bad. I went to check the final score, and I thought that's got to be there's no way they scored 70.
That's 10 touchdowns.
It's embarrassing.
And they're favored.
Yeah.
Not me. Go Bears. I'm taking the Bears.
Can you imagine? This is
this is awful.
This is.
I don't know though. And the more I'm thinking about it, how many times have you seen a team?
Bedell says Denver wins. Last week was look ahead to the Bears. Broncos.
That's good. The more I think about it, how many times have you seen an NFL team play so bad and then come back and win the next week?
Yeah, no, for sure. But
okay, I'm going to change my pick because they're better than the Bears. They have better players. I don't know what's going on there. You can't blame the coach this year.
No. Well, I told Jared, even after their second game, when the Commanders, they kind of handled them until the Hail Mary and all that happened, and the Broncos almost tied it. But anyway, I texted Jared. I said, are the Broncos worse than last year? Because the Commanders just went in there and kicked their ass. The Commanders. And then they give up 70 last week. I'm going to take the Bears.
How about this? Stay away from it.
Well, yeah, for sure. I'll take the Bears. All right, let's move on. This is a huge game early in the season. I mean, for NFL purposes, this is a big game early in the year here. The Ravens go on the road to take on the Browns. The Browns are 3-point favorites. I thought the Browns really bounced back. They played a good game last week. I thought they might lose that game, but they didn't. The Ravens, on the other hand, they got beat. They got upset by the Colts. Who's going to win this? This is an interesting game.
It is. This is for dominance because, the Bengals don't look very good. They just
horrible.
They don't look good at all.
Yeah.
Those two games on Monday night I couldn't watch either one of them. They're terrible. Anyway, this is a toss-up as far as I'm concerned. Cleveland's playing better. They should be 3-0. I'm going to take the Browns. I just think they're playing better than the Ravens right now. Cleveland's defense is really, really good. So I think this is the kind of game they lose.
Yep.
That would be the only thing. But yeah, they're kind of winning me over a little bit.
Honestly, this is the week they miss 3 field goals and lose by 1. That's
yes.
That's so Cleveland. I think they will. Give me the Ravens to win this game. Somehow, some way, the Ravens are going to get it done and win the game. That's just, after watching them years, I just think that's what's going to happen. So, you talk about the Bengals. Even though they won, they still look like shit, I thought, against the Rams. They're 2-point favorites on the road against the Titans. Titans were horrible last week. What do you think?
I don't know. These games are tough this week. They're tough every week, but man. I'm going to stick with the Bengals another week. It's only 2. They're better than Tennessee. So I'm going to stick with them. I'm going Bengals.
Yep, I'll go Bengals as well, but God, they better start playing better. They look really, really, really bad. Rams and the Colts in this one. And this is even. This is even here in Indianapolis. What do you think about this game?
Well, the Rams, I didn't think they looked very good at all the other night.
Nope.
Indy's at home. They've won 2 in a row. Played well in week 1 as well. Didn't win. I'm going to go Indy to beat the Rams.
I'm going to go Indy too. By the way, how hard are these games this week? These matchups are tough.
They're
week.
Terrible.
Yeah, I'm going to go with Indy as well. I think you're right on that one. Speaking of tough ones, the Buccaneers go on the road against the Saints. The Saints are 3-point favorites here. This is a big game. Both these teams are 2-1. What do you think about this one?
Is Carr out?
I would imagine yes.
Oh, well, that line's 3 without him.
Yeah, the line. Well, he may be playing then. I thought the last I heard he was out. Go ahead, though.
I would have thought so. Guess a person ought to look this up before we do this, but I didn't. The line was 3, and it hasn't moved. I didn't like the way Tampa looked the other night, but they were playing the Eagles. The Eagles are pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to take New Orleans.
Well, I did look it up, and he's questionable.
Okay.
But I'm guessing he's going to be out. They got Dennis, you saw it. It's not day to day; it's week to week is what they've got him listed at. So,
well, if he doesn't play,
I think he's out for this game.
Well, then I'll have to switch.
I think Tampa wins the game
if he doesn't play.
If he doesn't play, if he does play, I think the Saints win.
Yeah.
So I'm going to play this one in game. We'll see what happens. The Saints are the better team, but they did not look good when he went out of the game.
No.
So we'll see what happens. All right. Commanders go on the road to take on the Eagles. The Eagles are 3-0. I thought they looked pretty darn good on Monday night. They went in there and pretty much destroyed Tampa. Commanders aren't great. 8 points is a lot, though. What do you think of this one?
I think they cover.
I do too.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm beginning to be sold on them again.
Yeah. I think they're really good.
They are. They're solid all over the field.
Yep. I agree.
Yep.
Give me the Eagles here pretty big. The Vikings are 0-3. The Panthers are 0-3. Do the Vikings get their first win of the season? They're 4-point favorites on the road against Carolina.
Boy, we've got great games and we got some dogs, don't we?
It's one of those weeks where the bad teams are playing the other bad teams.
That's right.
Which makes for good lines or good close lines, I should say.
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, all these lines are really tough.
Yep.
Oh man, 4. I think they're going to win, but I think it's going to be a 3-pointer. So I'm going to go Panthers plus, but I think Minnesota wins.
I think Minnesota wins, but I would not be shocked. I'm staying away from that completely. That's 4 points, total trap game. All right, Steelers and the Texans. Steelers were embarrassed week 1, and in typical Steeler fashion, they come back, they win the next 2 weeks. They really didn't look worth a shit either week, but they did it. They won. That's what you got to do in the NFL. They take on the Texans, and the Texans got a big upset win last week, so maybe they're feeling good about themselves. The Pittsburgh Steelers, a 3-point favorite in Houston this week.
This is another tough game because, like you said, you laid it out perfect. The Steelers are 2-1, but they're unimpressive 2-1.
Yeah.
Houston looked great last week. Can they build on it? I'm going to take the Steelers, though, just because of who they are.
I think, we talked about class in a college game earlier with that Notre Dame Duke situation where, Duke's going to have to get over the fact that, hey, we're Duke, but we can beat Notre Dame, right? Yeah. I think the Steelers have the class edge. I think they're going to get it done. I think it'll be ugly, but I do think they win it. So give me the Steelers in this one. All right, let's keep going here. The Raiders and the Chargers. Both teams are at 1-2. Raiders have not been good after their opening week win. Chargers did get a win last week and thought they played pretty well. They're at home. They're 5.5-point favorites. Come on. You got to win this game, right?
Well, 3 games the Chargers have played and 3 games I've missed them. So keeping up my perfect record. Let's go for 4. I'm taking the Chargers to cover.
That means they're winning by 3 this week, folks.
That's right.
They should win the game, and they're much, much better. This is a game it shouldn't be much of a problem for them. So,
right.
Yeah, I'm going to take the Chargers as well. Patriots and the Cowboys. My goodness, the Cowboys. I mean, just a horrific loss last week. It's
a terrible loss.
To a terrible team, and it wasn't even close. They come home this week. They're 6.5-point favorites against the Patriots. They're better than the Patriots, but will the Cowboys be the Cowboys again? I'm not sure. What do you think about this game?
Well, I think they might win, but there's too many points. Taking New England plus the points. And by the way, the Cowboys can't blame that of being a road game last week. I didn't see a play of it because we were at Remington, but I guarantee you half the crowd was Dallas.
Oh, there's no excuse.
No, none.
No.
And they got slaughtered. It wasn't close, was it?
No, they got their ass kicked.
Yeah, that's what they do.
I know.
Ridiculous. And I think Belichick and the Patriots will come in there and play really well. And I don't think they cover. They may win, but I don't think they cover.
Here's what I don't understand. I think Belichick is a great coach, obviously. But God, go get some guys that can play. They just don't have any players, and I don't understand. You're a good coach. you got to know, you got to have some players. They just don't have enough of them. And it's been years of this now. They're not talent wise. They are not good enough to go to Dallas and win the game.
Mm-mm.
Hey, you know what? Arizona talent wise wasn't good enough to beat Dallas last week. So Dallas has to play better. If Dallas plays better, they're going to win. Rob, you just took, yes, the Patriots have nothing. Like every week, it's like this Mac Jones, he sucks. He has nobody to hand the ball off to. He has nobody to throw to. It's a joke. I don't know why they keep doing this year after year on offense. They haven't had weapons in forever. No. So give me Dallas. I'm not going to be shocked if Dallas loses this game, but they're better. They are a better team. Give me Dallas -6.5. I think they get it done this week. Let's move on. The Cardinals, those big bad Cardinals who are so good, who beat Dallas, are 14-point underdogs in the NFL, going up against the best team, I think, so far, the 49ers. Is there anything to discuss here? Are they going to shock the world back-to-back weekends, or is this going to be a blowout?
I don't think so. I'm going 49ers pretty easy.
Yeah.
That's a lot of points.
I think the 49ers roll them. I think they steamroll them. Yeah. Listen, okay. Arizona is not a good team. Arizona got up 28-0 and lost 2 weeks ago to the Giants. They blew a 28-point lead. I mean, they're not that good. I'm not going there. All right, let's go to the Sunday night game. Kansas City on the road, 9.5-point favorites against the Jets. What do you think about this one?
Well, I think they cover, but every time I pick them to cover, they don't. Yep. So I like the Chiefs.
The Jets turning to Trevor Siemian now at quarterback. Oh. Maybe. I mean, they signed him. I don't know if he's going to play this week or not. So going to be pretty interesting to see. What is your take on the Taylor Swift situation with Travis Kelce?
I mean, is it just news because we live here?
No, this Howard Stern did like 2 segments on it. God. This is huge news.
Well, I think what we ought to do is the over under on how many months it lasts.
It's massive news. It's brought a whole new set of eyeballs onto the NFL. The Swifties are going crazy for football right now.
Yeah.
So
will it last until the Super Bowl?
I don't know.
That's the thing we ought to be betting on. I'm sure you can in Vegas. Will it last until Halloween? I mean, your options ought to be Halloween, Thanksgiving, Christmas, Super Bowl.
Yeah.
What's my take on it? I could care less. I mean, I don't care who they date. Yeah. I see where what's his name's Travis, his ex says once a cheater, always a cheater. So she's
no way, I didn't see that.
Oh yeah, she's warned Taylor about it. I don't know. I guess
Kelce jersey sales up 400%. Yeah, I did read that.
God, that's unreal. That's well.
I think Patrick, Christie, and you were on the same. Like, who cares?
Yeah, I don't really care. I mean, it doesn't bother me. You know, I don't. That doesn't bother me. If I was a Chiefs fan, I'd be a little worried. I think that maybe he's not concentrating on what he ought to be concentrating on. I mean, I might be worried about that.
I think that's it. I think she's wormed her way in, and then she's going to break his heart right before a big game, and then that's going to be that. Well, the Chiefs are going to lose and blow everything up.
It's kind of a trend. I mean, it's I like Taylor Swift. You know, I don't mind admitting it. I think she's a great entertainer, and anyway, I just don't know. It's just crazy what the media picks up on and just runs with it. You know, Of course, she's news no matter what. She's just one of those icons, you know.
Oh, I love it.
Well, when Mark comes along, we have this little stuff. I don't know. It'll run its course one way or the other, I guess.
Yeah, we'll see. I'll tell you the Chiefs.
How does Jared feel about it?
He's annoyed. He's very annoyed.
He is. Is he worried?
No, I don't think he's worried, but he's very annoyed by it. Yeah. Yeah. I don't know. Kind of funny.
What do you think? Does it bother you?
I don't care.
No, I don't either.
I haven't given it any thought, to be honest. So
yeah,
it is what it is. Hope she's at every game though. It's kind of fun to watch her going nuts up there. That was cool.
Yeah,
she's cool. She's cooler than Mahomes' wife. That's I would say that.
Now, I would think. I don't know what her touring schedule is. I don't know if she's real busy or they take the fall off. I don't really know.
No clue.
I would think her touring schedule would interfere with her being at very many games.
Of course, I don't know. I don't know the answer.
Maybe they don't do concerts on Sundays. Maybe.
I don't know if that tour that she went on is over or not. I'm not sure.
Yeah.
I never was involved in that, so I'm not sure. All right.
I don't know.
Let's move on. We do have one more. The Seahawks and the Giants. Giants are 1-2. Seahawks 2-1. Game is in New York, even on the line. Who you got?
Well, this is another toughie. You know, if it was in Seattle, I don't think it would be that tough to call. But oh boy, I think Seattle's a little better. So there's no points involved. Just hit up. I'll take Seattle.
Yeah, I'm going to take Seattle as well. I think they're a better team. Not a believer in the Giants. So I will take Seattle as well.
You're talking swing games. This is one for Seattle. They need this one.
They do need this one. Michael says gross game. Don't you? I agree. Like,
yeah,
it's kind of the,
to me right now, and I'll admit
it. Mark says Taylor Swift to Daniel Jones. Awkward transitions for 200, Alex. What were you going to say, though? What were you going to say?
I'll openly admit I'm not a big NFL fan, but I think these games are just horrid so far.
Well, the games on on Monday were awful.
Yeah, I didn't see anything, but it's just not much offense right now. It doesn't seem to me like.
No. You text me Monday. Dennis texted me Monday. It's like, is this watchable?
Oh, it was awful.
Not really. You know, and Dennis was like, are these teams any good? I was like, I think the Eagles are good. I think they're not playing that great, but I think they're good. These other teams suck. Like, they looked awful. It was so boring.
Yeah.
Look, I don't feel that way about every NFL game, but a lot of these games that have been in prime time have just not been good. And I think Lions-Packers tonight, I think it could be okay. I don't think that'll be a horrible game.
It could.
So, yeah.
I'm kind of looking forward to it.
Yeah, I think that'll be okay. So,
yeah.
All right, that'll do it. We don't have anything else. We've already talked about we did our segment we usually do last. We did it first.
Mm-hmm.
So, is there anything you'd like to discuss before we get out of here?
No.
Great.
I got a lot of work to do. You got another show, and
I've got to regroup. I got another show coming up here. Okay, so 2 more shows today, guys. We're about 45 minutes away from Blinkers Off. That'll come at you next on the network here, and then after that, I'll say it again. Magic Mike Show number 500 happening today, 4:00 Central Time. So Magic Mike number 500, a very special show there for them. I think they're doing Santa Anita's opening Saturday. So there you go.
I might actually watch that.
Yeah. Was that tequila in Papa Dude's shot glass? Yes, it was.
I don't know what the hell it was, Dennis.
No, it was tequila.
Was it?
Yeah.
Went down pretty easy, actually.
Yeah, well, because he put a little bit of pineapple juice in it. So
no, I couldn't taste the pineapple juice. That's for sure.
Yeah, it was good. No, it was very good. What kind of tequila was that, Pedlo? It was pretty good. I've had some bad ones. That wasn't too bad. So, I don't know what that was, but it was good.
All I know is we had a ball.
We did have fun. All right. I got to get out of here because I got to go to the bathroom and get ready for the next show. So busy day as always, but going to be fun. Like I said, 2 more to go here. Blinkers Off. We're talking big time races coming up this weekend. Magic Mike 500. So a lot going on. All right, guys, we will see you back here for this show next week. We'll see you here in about 40 minutes for Blinkers Off. And then we'll see you tomorrow. These same two guys plus Magic for Dudes Who Bet Daily. All right, guys, we'll see you.
This is Dudes Who Bet Sports. Dudes Who Bet Sports, it's your favorite show. Dudes Who Bet Sports, where degenerates go. Dudes Who Bet Sports, time to change your approach with Aaron Halterman and his father, the coach. Let's ride.
Well, the Associated Press is full of shit.